All right, hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Thursday, February the 20th, 2020, and we're going to jump right in to tennis. Let's go. I think we're foolish if we all can't guess what we're going to talk about first. Carlo, can you just possibly imagine what we're going to talk about first?
It could be one of the three guys, right? Roger Federer?
Roger
Is
Federer.
it Roger Federer pulling out?
Maybe the knee injury? Maybe?
Yeah.
Real quickly, before we even talk about Roger Federer's knee surgery, once again, I am kind of forced to play my card again by certain viewers in respectable ways, about why I'm a Federer fan, but now don't pay him much attention whatsoever, to say the least. If not, just ride on him. Look, first and foremost, I'm the most devout a fan of Roger Federer historically that you can imagine. Traveled around watching his tournaments personally, and Apex or Climax at the U.S. Open 2 years in a row. Watched him since he was 16, 17 years old. My father and I did. Watched every one of his matches to the point where I'd be on the phone with my dad, sometimes clear across the country, and we'd be doing play-by-play when he didn't have a television in front of him. Oh, no. At 1 in the morning, at 3 in the morning, at 5 in the morning, for many years, like 13 years or something. But this is a sports show, and I'm a sports fan. And again, I've watched the era of Yannick Noah and John McEnroe and Borg and Connors into the Rafters and the Sampras's, the Edbergs and the Beckers, into the Roddick era, which was, not the greatest tennis. The Changs and grew up around some of these people, the Chang family in Southern California, one of them. There are certain points in time where we have to say, this is my opinion, that it's time to move on, or you're a has-been in a way, and I think Carla's going to shred me on this one, and I think a lot of you may shred me on this one, but let's briefly look at Roger Federer's results in the last, say, 5 or 6 years. So we had the Cinderella Australian. He won another one in there somewhere.
U.S. Open.
But within the last, more than a handful of years now, he's been hanging on and has pulled off a couple of major wins, and I understand that. But in the grand scheme of things, he's nowhere near as match fit and ready and body ready as, say, some of the top 10 in the world right now. Now we've proved that with the likes of close Millman matches and lost to Millman at a U.S. Open that I recall. Look, I'm going to pass it to Carla because she's ready to trounce. I can feel it. However, let me make one statement before Carla unloads. If we talked about Boris Becker or Stefan Edberg or Yannick Noah still to this day on a tennis show, how many people would really, number one, give a damn? Number two, who would actually know anything about them? Because most fans, no offense, pick a player and they stick with that player. And look, much love. One of our most dear friends, Rajesh Kumar, respectively, has said it himself. He likes Djokovic, and when Djokovic is gone, he won't watch tennis. And maybe I've exaggerated that, but isn't it something close to that?
A lot of people said that. It's not just him.
And maybe I have that wrong, Rajesh. My apologies if so, but I thought I remember reading that when we first started the show. But I'm going to pass it over to you, and I will vent on about why I think Roger Federer, and much love to him, is playing for sponsorship and ticket sales and to still be in the limelight. But his ability to win majors, I do not think... I think he, in my opinion, I think Roger Federer now, regardless of the knee injury, if we're going to add the knee injury onto it, I think Roger Federer right now would be considered a dark horse to win a major, a dark horse to win a Masters 1000. He has a chance, but I no longer, now he's part of the big three historically and will always be, and maybe he'll end up being the greatest. Again, my opinion on slam count. But in terms of right here and now, is he part of the big three, especially with the knee injury? I think now you're at a big two. That there's only two left of the three. And I'm gonna pause here and shut up. But that's my feelings. We can't always talk about Rod Laver. We can't always talk about Mats Wilander. We can't always talk about
No, we can't. But those
we
guys
have to move on.
This is stupid because what he's saying is very stupid. Boris Becker, Yannick Noah, Laver, they're all retired. Federer is still playing.
At what ages did they retire?
I don't know. I didn't look
Late
that up.
20s, early 30s?
That's their problem. Sampras retired at 32. Everybody retires at a different age. Our bodies go through a different thing. This man is
2 thumbs down on that one.
This man is 38 years old. What you're saying is ridiculous. Why would we talk about a retired player?
Has Federer not logged down the record for being the oldest number one ever?
Absolutely.
Okay, he's playing on Father
Ken
Time.
Roswell is right behind him, who was 37 years old, winning his last slam. Anyways, that's not my point.
Wait, first of all, it's not Roswell. It's Ken Roswell.
Let me talk. Number one, the guy is 38 years old and top 3 in the world. What does that say about the rest of the field, Justin?
That they're sucky.
But yet, this is the toughest era. But yet, this 40-year-old man almost is in the top 3. Number one, let's look at the records.
So?
Djokovic's last year record, 2019, was 57 wins and 11 losses. Federer, 53 wins and 10 losses.
So?
Nadal, 58 and 7. Your young guns, Thiem, 49 and 19. Medvedev, 59 and 21.
Do you think?
But he's a has-been.
Do you think that record mattered when Djokovic beat him in Wimbledon after having the match on his racket?
So it took Djokovic, a 31-year-old at that time, to a 37-year-old, took him 5 sets to beat an old man.
He lost.
But it took 5 sets.
He lost.
You can't say anything, right?
I got
stupid.
I got hot in my ear. I feel her mouth on my ear.
Because you're stupid. What you're saying. You say you're a Federer fan. I'm not even a Federer fan, but you're not a true fan. You should take off your tattoo.
Okay, whoa.
No. Let's stop.
Okay.
Let me finish.
Right,
Sampras retired at the age of...
We're gonna talk about that shit.
Sampras retired at the age of 32. He won the U.S. Open in his last match, right, against Agassi. In the beginning of that year, in the Australian Open, he lost at the first round. No one expected him to do good. French Open, he goes out again. Wimbledon, he goes out in the second round. No one expected Sampras to win a Grand Slam. He was done. He was out of the 50, out of the top 50. No one. And boom, what does he do? Surprises all and beats Agassi, a great contender in the final. Did you expect Sampras to win a Grand Slam?
I'm still pissed you called out my fanhood.
You're not a fan. Let's be real. I'm a Nadal fan. I don't give a shit. The guy is crippled. I'm going to still support him.
Hold the hell up.
Anyways, did you expect Sampras to win a Grand Slam when he was done? Out of the top 50, a has-been, like you would say. Did you expect him to win?
Okay, no. However, I don't think it was a shock. And same thing.
It was a shock.
Same thing. Well, when he won it, did he play Agassi at some point?
In the final.
Yeah. So again, he had been there so many times. It wasn't like a shock that it was a surprise.
It was a surprise because the guy's been losing in the first round. And here's Mr. Roger Federer with a better ranking and better results during the year. He had knee surgery. Good for him. He doesn't need to play.
Can I ask a question?
I'm
please?
not done.
Oh shit.
Okay, you said who's the oldest winner, and I pronounced it wrong. How is it? Ken Roswell?
I'm gonna tear you up.
Was 37 years old when he won Australian Open. Federer is the second oldest at 36 years old, winning in 2018. Ken Roswell at 36, winning the Australian Open. Federer is below that at 35, winning Wimbledon. Then Ken Roswell again at 35, and Federer. Federer's made so many records being his age. Here we go. So I lost my train of thought.
You got about
Here
a heart
it is.
attack over there.
Okay, the other thing is he's got knee surgery, right?
Yeah.
We know you know better about knee surgery. It's a what type of surgery?
I still
But this is
have not recovered from my knee surgery.
But that's a patellar tendon. What's his type? Orthopedic?
Arthroscopic. I'll get into that too.
Okay.
Because I've been through many of those as well.
Okay, here's the reality. Does Federer need to play clay? Does he really need to play clay when we know that's his worst surface? I mean, for him, this was the best time that could happen. He doesn't need to play Indian Wells. He doesn't need to play Miami Open. He doesn't need to play any clay tournaments. He doesn't need to play the French Open. This is a great time for him to let Nadal and Djokovic battle it out in these 1,000 Masters, use up all their energy, and him be fresh and try to win this Wimbledon that he could have won. And the other thing that you say he's a has-been, if Zverev and Thiem and Monfils and Tsitsipas, Nadal, Wawrinka, all trying to win a slam, I don't see them much better than Federer. How are they much better than Federer?
You done?
How are they much better than Federer?
They're not.
Why would he be a has-been then? So all these guys are a has-been. How are these guys better than him? Please explain that to me.
I'm waiting for you to stop and then let me talk. But I know you're going to interrupt me because you always just like jump down my throat.
Again,
right? Whenever
I'm done. Justin
Okay.
says that Federer is a has-been. TM has yet to win a slam. Tsitsipas is erratic. Medvedev just lost the first set 6-1 to a little 17-year-old. How is this guy a has-been?
Can I talk without you interrupting? Can I please?
I just don't like stupidity.
Are you capable of
I'm done.
Okay, I didn't say a word.
You said you're a Federer fan. You're not.
You're already interrupting me.
Go ahead. I'm done.
Jeez, man. I mean, sometimes you have to learn that you have to let other people talk.
I do let you talk.
Then can you be silent so I can give you my rebuttal thereof?
Go ahead.
Can you please? Are you capable? So please, don't change my train of thought because you're great at it. On and off this show. Fuck. Espanitas, man. Latinino, Latin women. Talking about she's from New York. You're straight Latin.
New York.
Fooled me. Well, okay, maybe, yeah, New Yorkers are pretty rough too. What's up, Michael Walker? Yeah, you guys are tough. Okay, now listen to me. Number one, you call out my fanhood. Don't say a freaking word. You call out my fanhood. Don't let me pull off my shirt and show a tattoo. That's cheesy, irrelevant. Okay, number one. From the time this kid, from the time Federer was 16, 17, 18 years old, my father and I played by plate and dissected his game from when he was still swinging an original pro staff, sometimes even a Woody. Okay? Now, I don't need a rebuttal here because we got 10 more things to talk about. I'll let you talk. Okay? For two U.S. Opens in a row, I gave up every vacation day, every ounce of freaking dimes that I had to go to New York City to go to the U.S. Open. Okay? Strung rackets left and right. Okay? Strung rackets left and right, only to be able to run out the center court when he played, Murray and Djokovic. You can't call out my damn fanhood first and freaking foremost.
Yes, I can.
That's bullshit. Don't say a word. You call out my fanhood because at 38 years of age, you're telling me that I can't start to like another player? Stop. Let me finish. Let me finish.
You were a fan when he was winning.
I'm out.
No.
Can you shut up? Can I please finish? Shut up. Just chill for a second. I let you talk. Let me finish. Okay, let's say when Peyton Manning at ancient years old leaves the Indianapolis Colts, right? Goes to the Broncos. And now I'm not a Peyton Manning fan because I think that he changed teams. Let me move on. Let's say when Joe Montana left the 49ers and went to the Chiefs? Now because I'm like, man, now I'm not a Joe Montana fan? You're going to tell me when Brett Favre left Green Bay, because you don't get it, you're a girl, and you don't understand sports. The fact of the freaking matter, shut up. The fact of the matter is, this is a 38-year-old man that just had knee surgery. Even prior to, he has had rocky performances. Not including the 5-setter that he had on his racket that coughed up, how many match points on his racket or serving for it or whatever? Not including the Millman debacle. Not including the Tsitsipas one. I mean, come on. This is nothing new. I am a sports fan, but I am an athlete at the same time, and there's a point in time when he's a has-been, not as a tennis player. He's a has-been as being the favorite to win a major. Can he? Can he possibly win one? Yes. Is he a favorite? No. And he can't be a favorite, especially now with the knee. Here's another reason why I'm calling you out, Carla. Have you ever been through a major knee surgery, Carla?
Thank God, no.
I've been through a couple. I have been through a couple on my shoulder. There is always a period of recovery. There is always a period of physical therapy, which leads to muscular atrophy, which means your muscles shrink. Gee whiz, look at my right quadricep. I had 9 days of a disconnected tendon, and I have no quadricep muscle. Am I lying, Carla?
No.
Did you not have to take me to the bathroom every morning for 3 months?
That's a bit more serious.
But what I'm saying is, whenever you have any type of intervention inside your body surgically that involves a scalpel and stitches and downtime, you have muscular atrophy. And at 38 years of age, to go back and hit the gym for muscle strengthening, guess what? The joint's weak, you have to give it time. At 38, at 39, is he going to be able to compete at even the level he was prior to the minor invasive knee surgery? I think you're kidding yourselves. I think you're foolish.
I'm not saying
you can tell me I'm not a fan all you freaking want. But the fact is I'm a realist. And if you think that he is not a has-been in terms of being a favorite to win a major, you're kidding yourself. You're kidding yourself, especially now. If you think, now let me give you the last example of why you're foolish. An invasive knee surgery, I don't care arthroscopically, went in with a scope or what, cleared out fluid, helped out the meniscus, whatever. I don't care. Been through it all. Okay, all of it I've been through. Now you cannot tell me that when even he's healed and all said and done, and he's running 5-set marathons during 7 matches at say Wimbledon, the mileages add up. Now you're limping a little bit on the other leg, the healthy leg, because when you were recovering from the right leg, now your left leg was overused. Now your joints hurting the left leg. There's so much that goes along with it. And at 38 years old, just coming out of knee surgery, yes, I'm saying he's a has-been, not as a human being, not as a tennis player, not in his humility as some have said. He's a has-been as being a favorite to win. Could he like Sampras? Yes. And by the way, your Sampras thing, well, remember when Sampras, were you shocked? How old was Sampras then, Carlo?
I just said his age, 32.
Okay, Federer's much his elder at this point. And number 2?
Credit to him. Credit to him that he's...
okay,
so
the example
are you done? Because number one, just because I'm a girl...
Don't call out my family.
Number one, just because I'm a girl doesn't mean that I don't know about sports. We saw last night a sports broadcaster named Erin Andrews who knew her shit. So don't say that girls don't know about sports.
But she studied hockey, football, and everything else. You only know tennis. Okay,
that's what we're talking about, Justin.
Come on, man.
Number 2, you called him a has-been, and go back, guys, and watch the show before his knee surgery. You've been calling him a has-been way
because he has been.
How can you say that when the guy's number 3? He choked in last Wimbledon, but he choked at the 2011 U.S. Open, and that was a young Federer.
How many?
It happens.
Look here. Well, I didn't look this up. How many majors has Novak Djokovic had in the past 5 years?
4.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to the question. I don't know the answer to the question.
He won the Australian. He won the U.S. Open last year. Before that, he won. Oh no, he won Wimbledon. He won the Australian Open. Before
I didn't
that,
look it up.
He's won many. But how many finals have Federer made?
I don't care.
Don't call him a has-been. Yes, it's tough to recover, but he's got the money. He's got the trainers. Unlike us, he will recover. When is Wimbledon? In July?
Yeah.
He's got plenty of time. Let's wake up. Don't say a girl doesn't know about sports.
You're foolish.
Because I can kick your ass on the tennis court. So I definitely know about sports.
Well, I would hope so with a ruptured patella tendon and a broken wrist.
Before that,
there was plenty of bagels where you were dealt, Carla.
There was many that you were.
Okay,
and I'm a girl.
So vice versa.
6'1", 5'5".
Okay.
I'm a girl.
All right.
Get real.
Check this out. If you think
And again, I'm an Nadal fan, but I don't like that has-been. Call the guy a has-been if he's like 100 in the world, still trying to come back.
What does that tell you about who's behind of these 3 at this point?
But everybody says that this is the best era.
Don't you have some statistics?
We'll talk about that because everybody says this is the strongest. Yet the only guys that are there is Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic.
If you think that I'm not a fan of Roger Federer, you're naive. I think Roger Federer in his prime is way better than Djokovic will ever have been in his prime. I'm sorry, you might hate me for that. I do think that Djokovic is the more dominant player.
Agree. But you can't say this guy is a has-been. You cannot hate this guy.
You're missing my context. I'm not saying he's a has-been in terms of the game of tennis.
As favorite?
He's a See, you're like
who do we expect to win the slams? Djokovic, right? Everybody says Djokovic is going to win Australian. He's going to win the French. We don't even throw Nadal in there.
You know what she is?
I am a fighter.
Can I say a word?
You're just pissed because I brought facts out, baby.
Let me tell you what she is. She would be great as a Western journalist that spun things to the left field.
Oh wow! Now you're calling me.
Can I tell you why? Because my statement has always been not Roger Federer's a has-been in the game or a has-been as a person or a has-been with his foundations.
Has-been as a top 3, yes. Okay.
He's a has-been in terms of being a favorite in winning a major. And she spun it like I hate the guy.
He got knee surgery. He's done.
He is done.
He's done. He might as well hang his racket.
He might as well hang it up.
But yeah, he is top 3 in the world. Why would you hang your racket?
He's not going to win another major.
Serena's still playing.
You want to bet on it, Carla?
I'm not betting on it.
Because you even know it.
Oh, but I'm not saying don't call the guy has-been.
Anyone want to bet?
With his messed up knee, he could beat Medvedev, Zverev, and the rest.
Anyone out there want to bet me personally?
Please bet him. I'm so tired of this now. He's so wrong.
I'll bet $100. I'll take the bet.
Make sure you work for it because it's not coming out of me.
I'm not going to have it. The first person that wants to go on $100 bet, let me know. I will take the bet. I'm only doing one. And there has been multiple people over the shows that have made bets with Carla and lost and never paid their dues. There was a guy that bet her a new tennis racket.
I don't even want to bet with anybody anymore.
I've had all my bets paid. But you have been stood up and people just disappeared after you were right. But I'll take a bet. Anyone out there that Roger Federer does not win another major, does that mean I'm not his fan? No, it just means I'm a realist.
All right, anyways.
Okay, go Roger. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he does have a surprise major win. And I hope he does go off into the sunset with 21.
But
he's a has-been in terms of me thinking that he's a favorite to win another one. And then you spun it like I'm not a fan.
I just watch all the other episodes.
Whatever,
He
man.
says it. Anyways, what's the next subject?
I don't know. I got to calm down from that one. You freaking... Anyway, okay, let's read the comment, by the way, from Tennis Sir. That's like 2 days old because we get off in these riffs. You know, it's like a jam band. You know, they get off in this riff and you're like, whoa, I'm doing something here. We're actually, trying to finish a show. So let's get on to Tennis Sir's comment. And that was a couple of days ago, actually. And the gist of this context, or the gist of this comment, the context of it was, we did a show where why is USA or men's tennis in the United States failing so bad, but yet on the women's side they tend to continue to put top women out. Obviously, the proof is in the pudding. Kenin just won a major, and there's a lot of other ones in the top 20 and top 30. So this comment from Tennis Sir was his really wonderful thoughts and rationale on why this is occurring.
Regarding the death of American male tennis success and the plethora of female tennis success, tennis is just about the only sport in the U.S. where females can make a decent salary. But for men, there is NBA, MLB, NFL, NHL, which combined offer thousands of slots amongst all the team for students athletes to aim for. In tennis, only the top 200, give or take, can even scratch together a living to cover their travel and coaching expenses, and they're competing with the rest of the world. Almost most top tennis players nowadays started making a big commitment to the sport when they are 6 or 7 and take a much larger personal financial expense, not from a team, and time commitment than other sports.
Yeah, this was a kind of a thought-provoking comment from Tennis Sir, and a lot of his comments are, and a lot of everyone else's are. So it's for me something I really didn't put much thought into over the years. I knew that tennis had kind of been coming to kind of a cusp to make the prize money somewhat equivalent. But I didn't think about it that way. I didn't think about maybe there are more women coming into tennis in the United States because it's not the easiest, but it's the most proficient way to get paid so they can pay for travel expenses and coaching and so forth. Whereas the men, they do have other outlets, Major League Baseball, football, and basketball. So I'm going to rebut some of this though. And then I'm going to show some statistics, though, that do back up what Tennis Sir is saying. All right, so first and foremost, I understand that U.S. men tennis players have other avenues and other pro sports to join. In terms of a reasoning for why this is occurring, I disagree here, though, because let's look at, per se, he mentions the MLB or NHL or football or whatever.
NBA, yes.
NBA. Okay, let's just pick a U.S. tennis player. Let's just grab one. Taylor Fritz. No, I just picked him. Can Taylor Fritz play NFL football? He'll get killed. He's like me, really thin. He'll get broken up like nothing. B-Dog, you can attest for that.
He doesn't basketball? No, he doesn't.
Can he play basketball? No, he's going to get just dunked on, ball swatted into the stands. He's going to get trounced by the big dogs. He's going to get just pushed around, shoved around. He's going to get brutalized. Hockey, same thing. He's going to get cracked like Master Splinter. He's going to get broke up. Let's even pull Riley Opelka in here. Here's a 6'11" dude. Riley Opelka could play basketball, but he's still too thin. Those big men, those dudes get in there, they'll be throwing elbows in there on you, and that's legal. Some of that stuff, ref ain't looking, boom. They get dirty, man. People don't understand basketball.
Basketball players are not thin like they used to be. They're very thin.
Yeah, and
Look at
basketball.
LeBron.
Yeah, basketball. Look, basketball is a lot more contact than you can imagine. But there's a whole, especially on the street level and so forth. Even at the level where the refs aren't as mindful as in some other sports, man. I'm telling you, people are getting dirty. But you can't tell me there's any U.S. men's tennis player that would have the athleticism or the build to play NFL, or the height and overall muscle structure to play NBA. NHL, I mean, maybe some of them can skate, but those dudes are 240, 6'3", coming out of Russia, straight balling and busting you up against the wall like, boom, get back. There's your tooth, pick it up. Soldier shit. Those hockey players don't mess with those dudes. They'll go their whole.
Those are some tough guys.
Yeah, they'll go their whole career, and they'll smile with no teeth. Like instead of having a grill, get on my grill. They're like, nothing, get on my gaps because I got nothing. Loving that stuff. Swollen up ears like MMA fighters. I don't think Jared Donaldson wants none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think.
What about Tiafoe?
Tiafoe, I don't know. I still think that being raised in the tennis game, you throw Tiafoe on a football field, he's going to get annihilated. What's up, B-Dog? B-Dog's the football guru and coach and has sons that play. So here's the question. Does Tiafoe have the build to play football? I think he's still too small.
I think he's too, too small.
Riley Opelka would get his knees blown out.
None of those American tennis players have anything. Not baseball, they're big dudes. Heavy.
Yeah, and baseball MLB is generally held down by really big time, swole up, Dominicans respectively, Central Americans, Venezuela.
No, Puerto Ricans. Not Central Americans. They don't really do much baseball there. It's soccer there.
So what it kind of boils down to is I would disagree with that. I think tennis is a very difficult, time-consuming, hands-on sport.
It requires a lot of money to be good. And that's the problem here. That's the big issue here.
It requires money to stay fresh, to keep the lessons up, for the hitting partners, for the travel, for the coaches. That's one thing. And I think, and here in the U.S., in my opinion, I think in order to do that, you come from a lot. It doesn't take a lot to play the game, by the way. You can play with the broomstick in the yard with the ball. But I'm saying to be at the highest level, you have to be training every day, the gym, on the court, off the court, diet, da-da-da-da-da-da. So it takes deep pockets to proliferate the game.
Most of the kids that our kids play are from country clubs. So they come from deep pockets.
And if they come from deep pockets in this generation, they are going to be the more self-involved type person. They're going to have the devices. They're going to look at themselves. They're going to be more self-central. Or internally motivated, which leads to lack in focus and lack. We were talking about like the Naomi Osaka that's doing a Netflix series, and if you're not 100% on court, then you're pretty much off the court. Again, back to Federer with a knee injury. He's not 100% on the court now. I don't think he can come back at this age with those that are on the court all the time. Real quickly, the top grossing men's athletes in the USA and their respective sports as of 2019. Okay. Number 1, Alex Rodriguez, Yankee, $445 million. Kevin Garnett, B-Ball, Celtics, $334 million. Kobe, R.I.P., bro, $323 million. Shaquille O'Neal, killing brothers like Shaquille. Shit is real. When it's time to eat a meal, Robin Steele. Shaquille's coming in at $286 million. Albert Pujols, what's up? Cranking balls still. $270 million. LeBron James, $269 million. Derek Jeter, $266 million. CC Sabathia, $256 million. Hold that thought real quick. All right, sorry about that. Somehow we live on this really small island. There's like, I don't know, a couple hundred people on it, and somehow we do these shows. This one's in the morning, and we end up with someone at our door. It's just our luck, right?
Yeah.
No biggie. All right, so I left off on the prize money list at CC Sabathia, the Yankee pitcher at $256 million. This is career, obviously. Mm-hmm. Dirk Nowitzki, the Dallas Maverick basketball player, $251 million. Miguel Cabrera at $249 million. Peyton Manning, still in 2011, still up on that list of career earnings. Peyton Manning at $248 million. And Carlos Beltran. Those Astros, man. Those Astros with sign stealing going on down there.
Oof. Questionable. That's even questionable there.
Woo! All right, Carlos Beltran pulling in $245 million. All right, so that's on the men's side. Now, let's look on the women's side in 2018, okay? I'm gonna tell you the 2018 kind of prize money. winners or leaders, and then look at 2019, and we'll talk about why. 2018, the top 10 women and their respective earnings from their respective sport. Serena Williams won, and then I'll just read the names. Serena Williams, Venus Williams, Danica Patrick, race car driver, Simone Biles, gymnast, Ronda Rousey, MMA fighter, Gabby Douglas, gymnast, Lindsey Vonn, skier, Maria Sharapova, tennis, obviously, Allison Felix, Michaela Schifrin, skier. That was 2018. Now, in 2019, women's tennis started to evolve a little bit of making prize money equivalent at many more tournaments, which led to a drastic change and in the top 10 prize money earners from their respective sports in 2019. 2019, actually, I'm going to give you the top 12. 2019 top women athletes paid from their respective sports prize money. Serena Williams, Naomi Osaka, Angelique Kerber, Simona Halep, Sloane Stephens, Caroline Wozniacki, Maria Sharapova, Karolina Pliskova, Elena Svitolina, Venus Williams, Garbine Muguruza, and then at number 12, the soccer player Alex Morgan.
Wow.
So 11 of the top 12 were in tennis.
Wow, that's amazing. Good for them.
Good for them. Now here's the kicker. That is one of the reasons I can agree with Tennis Sir, right?
Right.
Tennis Sir, that, yeah, I can see why the women are pouring into it because, yeah, they have a lot more room for prize money.
Bravo.
But I do disagree that there's no men going into tennis because of the same thing. Let's look at football. Football, for instance, you got some players that make $100 million a year, whatever. I think Tom Brady right now is fighting for $30 million a year or something. Baseball, you get people $100 million a year. But if you look at the average football player on an NFL team, the second string, the third string, the practice squad, I think the league minimum is around $600,000 a year. Now, most people are like, geez, I only make $30,000 a year. I wish I had $600,000 a year. But that's their check, and they pay everything out of it with that from their traveling to, so most of them, they're medical, not always. Sometimes there's stipulations for that, but a lot of it's medical, and their moms and their sisters and their brothers and their cousins.
I thought the traveling was paid by the team.
Well, the traveling is paid.
Yes.
I'm talking about their vacation travel and stuff like that. I mean, when you're in the gym all the time and you're grinding it out on the football field, sometimes you have to get away. I mean, we've never gotten away. We got 5 kids, but I get it. When you're all the time with a bunch of dudes in locker rooms and stuff, once the game ends and you go back home, like let's say your family's in Massachusetts and you're playing for the Dallas Cowboys,
sure,
and you have an apartment in Dallas. Well, your family's still back there. You want to go see your family, right?
Of course, yeah.
So, and you got to pay rent at your apartment there, and you got to pay rent for your wife's or mortgage there.
Sure, which is why a lot of these athletes go broke.
So anyway, I mean, good for them, but you can see that the gap is narrowing.
Well, and the reason too that we don't see a lot of men playing tennis is because men's tennis is tough. There's a lot of good guys, Girls, you just need a certain special little thing like a serve or something. Men's, guys can ball.
In terms of the top grossing sports that are available for both men and women in the United States, by the way, on an average, the women's professional sports, like, in other words, i.e. WNBA, women's basketball versus NBA, there isn't an American football, like American throwing the football, like tackle football variation. They do have professional softball that kind of hangs on in there versus MLB. So on average, doing the math on flip to flop on those sports that do exist, like there's pro men's soccer here, but the women's didn't last. Stuff like that. But there is a 60 to 85% pay difference between women and men and the respective pro sports across the board other than tennis. Yeah. So it's a good argument, but I don't find that as an excuse for the men. I think the men here in this country develop late. I think they're softer until they get older, as we said the other day. If there's a 19-year-old that I meet any day of the week, if it came down to like fighting for my life against this kid, I'm gonna pulverize
most
the kid.
19-year-olds,
they're just softer.
Well, most 19-year-olds back in the day, let's say 20 years ago, they were already working, having their own place. Most kids I see now are 23, 24, still living with mom and dad. So. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to end it here. That was only 2 topics. Yeah, tomorrow we'll get to a comment by a viewer named Active. I told him I was going to do it today, but we won't have time. And another comment by Zigmaths, and we'll talk about why Federer's era was not weak.
There was another comment too from a person with the screen name of Original about whether or not the Federer-Nadal friendship, the rivalry has been exaggerated from the media perspective. There's a word that they use which is Fedal, Fedal, and I think that word is like so. I hate that word. It sounds like weird. It's just an odd weird. It's kind of a cheesy word to me. But their comment was very well done too because it made a lot of sense.
So we've got a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I have like 3 more pages. So We'll see you tomorrow. Adios. Let's go. That's it. Much love to all of you. Thank you so much. And an unending let's go. Come on from us. Take care. Peace.